Is your band struggling? Are you having a hard time getting noticed with your music? Well, since the advent of YouTube, the old "we're waiting for our big break" excuse just doesn't cut it anymore. Guess what? Everybody has access to a worldwide market. Here's the truth about why you're not making it. Better get out your tissues. Number one, you can't write a good song. Let's start this off with the hottest take of them all. Yes, you can't write a good song. Why is this? Well, who knows? Maybe you're young and you haven't had any real experiences yet that you could express through your music. Maybe you've got some killer ideas, but you just don't have the know-how to make them work in a song. Truth be told, there are probably more reasons than your ego will allow you to realize. And by crumb sweaty balls, enough of the fucking love songs already. That's all you ever hear, for fuck's sakes. What exactly is metal about a guy who sounds like he's on the verge of tears because the girlfriend he's had for 2 months just dumped him? Yeah, there's a song I want to put on repeat for 6 hours straight. Now, you guys might be thinking to yourself,
"But Glenn, how do you know I can't write a good song? Who died and made you judge, jury, and executioner, huh?"
Well, for those of you who don't know, my very good friend Trey Xavier recently held a songwriting contest over on the Gear Gods channel and offered up a rev generator as the main prize. Now, you would think people would put in some considerable time and effort for something like that, but no! Song after song, it was all uninspired riff salad instrumentals played over illegally obtained drum samples. As far as rock and metal are concerned, the future is gonna be bleak. Number two, you're lazy. Hey there, hotshot. Guess what? You're not a rock star and you are definitely not owed any kind of success. You might have a nice collection of participation ribbons in your mother's basement. Hell, you might have even made a high score on Rock Band, but unfortunately for you, that's not how the music business works! If you want to make it as a musician, you're gonna have to go above and beyond. It's gonna cost you hours and hours and hours of unpaid work. And sure, that completely sucks. But you set out to do this, so stop half-assing it and stop complaining that your latest song only got 200 plays. There are certain sacrifices you're gonna have to make if you want your band to go places. That means giving up your free time to attend band practice. And that means not drinking every weekend and pissing your cash away. If you want to do music professionally, then start acting like a professional! Number three, you suck at marketing. So you just finished mixing your latest song and you've got the artwork done and you're ready to post it up on YouTube. And then you wake up the next day and realize that your song didn't get 1 million views overnight. But why? My song is totally awesome. Why wouldn't it be an instant hit? Well, for starters, nobody knows who the fuck you are. And why is that? Because you made zero effort to market yourselves. Let's be honest here. You've only played one live show and that was at your family reunion. You have no social media presence and yet you wonder why you're not filling up stadiums? Look, you just can't expect to gain listeners out of thin fucking air. You have to get the word out. And that means maintaining a steady stream of content on your socials, doing promotional work, and playing live a lot. And you need to engage the people you want listening to your music. Yeah, it sucks that you're gonna have to put all that effort into something so mundane, but you have to play to what the market wants. You are not the exception, you're not special, and the rules apply to you just like to everybody else. So do yourself a favor and deflate that titanic ego of yours and get to work, you lazy shit! Number four, your riffs fucking suck. Let me spell this out for you. This it's not a fucking riff! Sure, drop-tuned 8-string guitars sound brutal as fuck, but the truth is there's nothing memorable about playing the open low note and muting it really fast. No, really! For one thing, it's tuned too low to even be reasonably registered as a note. See, when you tune your guitar strings lower, the sounds they produce start to go down in the frequency spectrum, and that's gonna start fighting with the bass guitar for those important frequencies. 6-string guitars in standard tuning are much higher pitched, and they fit into an almost entirely unoccupied space in a mix, the mid-range. And if you don't believe me, ask yourself this. How many iconic riffs in E standard can you name off? Now compare that to how many iconic riffs you can name in drop G. Yeah, that's what I thought. Number five, you're unoriginal. Get out your pencils, my friends, because it's time for the modern metal cliche bingo extravaganza. Glitchy sound effect intro? Check. Drum samples? Check. Time aligned everything? Check, check. Growling and screaming vocals? Check. Clean auto-tuned chorus vocals? Double check. Congratulations! You've won the modern metal cliche bingo. Your prize? My complete and utter contempt. I have said this a million times. If you want your band to stand out, don't time align everything, turn off the auto-tune, and learn to harmonize with each other. That way, you're going to have your own unique sound. Now, here's a little secret, guys. All the most well-known metal songs out there are structured a lot like pop songs. Awesome ear-catching hooks and big sing-along choruses that get the audience pumped. And sure, breaking conventions can lead to some awesome new styles of music, but let's be real here, none of you out there are coming up with new and interesting shit. Mainly because most of you still haven't figured out that your 8-string guitar has more than just the bottom string. And speaking of unoriginal, can you guys please stop with the terrible band photos? Every single time it's the same damn thing. Guys with their arms crossed, usually at a graveyard or on train tracks, all with a stupid deer in the headlights look on their faces. Get some new fucking ideas, would you please? I'm actually thinking about doing a video on how to take better band photos, so let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Number 6, nobody cares that you can shred. I just don't get it, but when did music go from catchy riffs and big sing-along choruses to unshowered dudes mentally masturbating over how fast they can play? Why the fuck do you all think that you're gonna be the next Ingve fucking Malmsteen? Look, Rising Force came out in 1984. It's old news and it has been done to death. Nobody fucking cares that you can play 400 notes a second. Look, a great solo can absolutely make a song better. They can create suspense after a chorus. They can carry a certain emotional vibe, but it has to be done tastefully. Hell, go ahead and shred, but come the fuck on. Your song is already 8 minutes long. You don't need to spend 3/4 of that trying to impress everybody. Instead, take it back a notch. Do the sensible thing and serve the song rather than your ego. Number 7, you look exactly like all the other bands. Now, how many times have you gone to a local live show only to have all the bands look and sound exactly the same? Seriously, it's bad enough that everyone in the lineup has the exact same eligible "what the fuck am I looking at" logo, and then they all come out on stage dressed in other bands' merch and fucking corpse paint. I know, I must sound like a broken record, but for crumb's sakes, how hard is it to come up with your own thing? I'm not saying don't have gimmicks. Hell, gimmicks are fun. Plenty of bands have them. Alice Cooper, Slipknot, Kiss, Gwar, Ghost, you name it. Having a certain eye-catching presentation can certainly help with the entertainment factor, and it can certainly help give you your own brand, its own identity. Remember, folks, the ultimate goal here is to entertain the audience, and it does help you distinguish yourself from everybody else just a little bit. Now look, you might think that corpse paint is cool, and you might even scare a few religious zealots along the way, but everybody else is just laughing at you. Number 8, you spend your money poorly. Now, you guys might know about René Descartes, the esteemed French philosopher who coined the phrase, "I think, therefore I am." In short, this statement declares that the only thing that we as people can be certain of is the existence of ourselves. Not the world and not of other people, but merely ourselves as individuals. Well, folks, I'm here today to tell you that René Descartes was fucking wrong because there are 2 things we know for certain. Number 1, the existence of ourselves. Number 2, musicians are cheap fucking bastards. Look, I've got over 20 years experience dealing with musicians. I might know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've had guys try to pay me in Home Depot gift cards for fuck's sakes. Why is it that musicians only seem to get creative when it's time to pay somebody? Maybe if you guys put some of that creativity to good use, you might actually write a decent song for a change. Look, guys, you gotta spend money to make money, and that means not spending every spare dollar you have on weed. And that means paying rent on your practice space instead of getting another tattoo. And since it's 2021 and rent is astronomically high, that means everyone in the band chips in on rent for the rehearsal space, not just the 2 dedicated guys. Number 9, you don't practice. Despite just telling you to not waste money on tattoos, I will make one exception. Get yourself a nice big tattoo on your forehead that reminds you to practice your fucking instrument. There's no beating around the bush. You have to practice. Whether you're planning on playing a live show, or going to the studio, or just writing music together, you have to put in the hours to perfect your act. Yes, bass players, that means you too. And please, for the love of Crom, don't practice during band rehearsal. Practice at home and then work out the kinks when you're playing together at your jam space. Nothing says amateur hour like a group of guys who'd rather be doing anything but playing in a band. Why are you in one in the first place when you'd rather be home playing video games? Your band is only going to be as good as your weakest member. So if it's not too much to ask for, try not to be the guy that ruins it for everyone else. And if you guys are just too chicken shit to kick out the useless in your band, head on over to my Patreon, click the appropriate tier, and I'll make a custom video up just for you. And I'd just like to thank all my patrons for making this video possible. You guys fucking rock. Number 10, your music videos are shit. Why is it that musicians will come into the studio without knowing how to play their songs, but when it comes time to do a music video, you think you have to play everything absolutely note for note perfect? Here's the thing, guys, you're just miming. You don't have to play the solo fucking perfectly. The playing is just for show. Look, I know you've got artistic integrity, but your music video is basically a commercial. It is meant to create awesome imagery to accompany your best songs. It's not there to indulge your fucking ego. The music video allows you to do more than just stand there with a pole up your ass and stare awkwardly at your fretboard. And when you actually go to make a video, don't come dressed like you're attending a summer barbecue. Nothing says awesome brutal death metal guys like blue jeans and yellow t-shirts. Seriously, try to look cool. Your image and the way you present yourself is going to be just as important as the music. Sure, that may suck, but we are a visual species. This is why so many musicians judge sound with their eyes. Besides, leather jackets are always going to be cool. Just look at Rob Halford. Number 11. Your live show sucks. It's bad enough that you have terrible music and a boring music video. Why do you have to bring that to the stage as well? Your audience came to watch you perform with some fucking passion, not to watch you guys stand in one spot and stare at your fucking fretboards like you did in your music video. Yeah, this is so exciting. You have the charisma of a brick, and your show is as exciting as watching grass grow. For example, I got invited to a show in Silver Lake a few years back, and the club was pretty packed, but this hipster band was playing, and boy, talk about boring. They finished the song, so I walked over to the stage and yelled, "Wake up!" Of course, they gave me this confused look like, but we're trying to be cool. No, you're not cool. You're just fucking boring. You got a packed house and nobody in here is paying any attention to you. What was the name of your band again? Oh yeah, nobody in here gives a shit. Wow, you guys are certainly gonna set the world on fire with that show. Look, there's more to a live show than just playing the songs. It's about interacting with the audience, both directly and indirectly. And that means putting some effort into your stage show, planning ahead. Do fucking anything! Don't just stand there like you're bored in some lame attempt to look cool. If you look like being up on stage is a chore, you can bet that the audience is gonna react the same way. Here's a suggestion. Write out some stage banter. Ask the audience if they're enjoying themselves. Build up some hype for the next song. Be engaging! And if you want to go the extra mile, pay somebody to do your light show. It'll help set the mood for the song that you're playing, and it'll break up the monotony of your already lacking stage presence. Let's make something very clear. Music was way better a few decades ago. Before pitch correction and sample replacement came to recording studios, not just anybody could put out a hit record. Musicians had to be at the top of their game to even get signed to a label because recording budgets were not cheap. Nowadays, any band with about 1,000 followers on Instagram can get signed to Sumerian or Nuclear Blast and delude themselves into thinking that they've made it. And before you guys start foaming in the mouth, furiously typing boober, boober, boober in the comments section, might I suggest a better way to spend your time? Like polishing all of those participation trophies that you won as a kid for merely showing up, you fucking crybaby! Music wasn't always as accessible as it is today. Once upon a time, you'd see mile-long lines at record stores. People actually gave a shit about new releases, and they'd spend hours just so they could get their hands on something before it ran out of stock. Sure, the internet and streaming services have made listening to music much more convenient, but there's something to be said when that kind of supply and demand isn't there anymore. Making it big as a band and selling millions has always been difficult. And you think you're gonna do that from your bedroom? Good fucking luck with that. Number 13, the market is oversaturated. We live in an age where the entertainment we want is just a few clicks away. Movies, TV shows, podcasts, and yes, of course, music. Whatever you're looking for, you can probably find it. But with just how widespread entertainment is, and with how few hours in the day there are, the end consumer can't consume it all. They have to decide what they're gonna watch, what they're gonna listen to, and that means you're not just competing with the other bands anymore. You're competing with the entire entertainment business. And well, let's face it, the majority of the Netflix catalog is probably far more enjoyable than your 10-minute drop G, 8-string, only played on 1-string guitar instrumental. Not only that, but music is easier to create than ever. The tools to record yourself at home are more and more affordable, and it's given everyone the chance to try their hand at this craft. And while that's certainly good in some regards, it also opens up a whole can of worms. The internet is an absolute landfill of terribly recorded, terribly mixed, and just plain awful music created by people who really have no business doing it. And before any of the easily butthurt among you get their panties in a twist and say, "You're gatekeeping," let me be clear on this. I am extremely happy to see people making music by any means they can, but it's also important to realize that not everyone is going to be great at everything. And plenty of people out there just aren't that great at making music. I'd say I'm sorry, but I am never sorry for speaking the truth. Oh, that was good. Hold on. Hardboard is not a great solo. We're gonna bleep the word. Doing good. Yep. Okay, cool.